Yeah, you can get back to it. Okay. This one's not working, no.
Thank you, councillors. You always accept it in my sight. I think we're all here today, no apologies. So we'll move straight on to the first 1.1, the confirmation of the minutes. Can I have somebody move that be confirmed? Thanks, Councillor Hiskett. Seconded, Councillor Dickrose. Any queries on those minutes? I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 2.1 is council workshops. There's only one there. Can I have somebody move that be received? Thanks, Councillor Viney. Seconded, Councillor Beasley. Any queries on the workshop? The motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 3.1 is Mayor's communications. 3.2 is the Mayor's diary. It's a list of things there, and Councillor Viney has also attended on behalf of Council. Can I have somebody move that report be received? Thanks, Councillor Ford. Seconded, Councillor Overton. Any queries on those items in the diary? I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 3.3 is declarations of interest. Anybody wishing to declare an interest in any item? No. 4.1 is councillor reports. Councillors have been appointed to committees or other organisations wishing to report. Councillor Hiskett.
Yes, just that Slipstream had their 20 years of circus celebration on the weekend, which was highly attended and went amazingly. It was, went there with my kids and mum, and it was a very good day. And wish them for many more years to come after this as well.
Thanks, Mayor. Fortnight ago, Mayor Case Kenyon had their last meeting for the year, and again expressed their gratitude and thanks for the council input again, financial input into the year, doing the VR project, and unfortunately, where everything is done, COVID and the spirit's not sort of starting as such, it hasn't been put out to public use as much. But if you are at the visitor centre and you want to experience the VR project, slip in there and put the goggles on and have the time of your life, because it is unbelievable. It was interesting listening there that some of the business had probably the best 6 months since being in business. It's the best 6 months in 15 years. So it shows you out of every adversity somebody does do okay, but others have been absolutely down to zero. So there are swings and roundabouts, and unfortunately, no matter what you can do for certain types of businesses, we're just not generating any new traffic for them in any way, shape or form. Let's hope that if it does open up and the borders stay open up, some of the drive tour type businesses come back online and get used again. One of the other queries was Pioneer Park being council owned, council asset. They are having real issues with volunteers and keeping it clean, and I think whether we can look at that over the forthcoming year in budget and estimates and see if we can do something with that, if we're in and around that area with our refuse people when they're going past. So I didn't realise that it was fully council owned at the moment, so it was a bit of a shock to me. I don't know whether there's deeds anywhere or anything, but apparently it is council owned. $750,000 asset sitting there and run beautifully by volunteers. So something to look forward to, try and help them out in the future. But other than that, no, good meeting, good end of the year Christmas meeting, and yeah, really interesting. Just let's hope our businesses continue to strive and the rest catch up.
Thank you. Councillor Overton.
I attended the Chamber of Commerce business bingo draw that they've been holding in the town for the last couple of months. The businesses of Ulverston were very well represented and donated quite a few prizes. It was very well supported by them in town. I think they had something like prizes given for donations. And it was a bit disappointing the amount of public that participated, but it was their first go and they're hoping to do it again next year, but probably try it in the winter months for a winter and Christmas type one. But it was really good to see that the businesses on the town really supported it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other reports? Move on to 5.1, which is leave of absence. There are no applications. 6.1 is deputations, and we do have a short video to play to you, which is the Central Coast Youth Leaders Council. It's a wrap for 2020.
Hey, my name's Bonnie. I had the opportunity this year to be a part of the Central Coast Council Youth Leadership Program, which basically consisted of us going to a meeting about once a month to kind of talk about some stuff, some opportunities for youth along the coast and things like that. And yeah, we were able to connect with other people from different schools and talk about things that are impacting our youth of today currently, and we were able to talk about solutions and ways to to fix those things and to really help grow our youth of today. Hi, my name is Virginia. I also had the opportunity of being part of the student council. There are a lot of needs of youth in our community, and to get them across the council with what we give. Personally, I think it's been a good learning experience for me, not only in that we got to be able to serve the community and all that stuff, it was also that just the way the meetings were held and with some council members that were there and things like that was really good to learn kind of how to operate in the professional setting like that. And I think that's something that will be really beneficial for me going into my future and things like that. And I think there are many things that you can take from doing this at the same time that you are giving back to the community. So I think that's one thing that's really important about doing this program and stuff like that is,
Hey, I'm Ebony. I go to Northwest Christian School. I'm Elena. I attend Northwest Christian School and I live in Alston. Council community has really given me confidence to actually speak in front of a huge crowd and all different schools, and it's just been really helping me.
Being a rep for my school has been a different experience. It was the last thing I expected to be doing, but I'm glad I did because it's given me confidence. It may have been daunting at the start, but it's a really good experience.
Yeah, it's actually a good experience. You can meet new students from different schools or old friends. Go to Wayland's or Penguin, and it's really good confidence and just helping our community just seek help. Hi, I'm Tara.
Hello, I'm Alex. We're from Alston Secondary College.
What we got out of Youth Leaders Council this year was we got the opportunity to work with other students from other schools.
We got to see how councils function and work. Our four schools got to work together to make an M&D fundraiser, which will raise $5,600. Tara, Brody, and myself would like to thank Central Coast Council for the opportunity of Central Coast Youth Leaders Council.
I'm Ella, and I'm from Penguin District School. Jordan from Penguin District School.
Noah from Penguin District School. Tyler from Penguin District School.
I gained lots of leadership skills and skills to help me on the student board this year, and as well as different fundraising events, just learning the big processes of how big events are put together.
I think one of the biggest things that I got out of it was, I guess, the way that adults work around things, like the council, how they work things out, just the way they run the meetings and things like that, compared to us students running here at school. I think it's a lot different over there than how we normally run it.
Yeah, I got lots of leadership skills and teamwork from the meeting. You were all working as a team, trying to get a thing put together and then work out the logistics of it, and it was just really effective.
Yeah, I mean, following what they said, pretty much the same. The learning leadership skills and how to plan and master the best practices. I think something, speaking of everyone here, but I think something that would be good is maybe like a Facebook group or like a page where you can all share ideas outside of meetings, so you can communicate more on like a platform that's more popular other than just like email. Something that would bring it together and you can talk about it throughout all the months rather than just once a month or through email.
And with that, people they don't like talking in front of an audience, where that sort of helps. You can just type it up and send it, and there's no like embarrassment as such.
More of a relaxed space, and we like you sit on different tables and stuff instead of one big long meeting table. So it's more of a relaxed, casual environment. We were also a lot more involved this year than we were last year, a lot more hands-on other than just sitting listening. On behalf of everyone, I would just like to say thanks to the council for having us involved in 2020, and I hope that 2021 is even better than it was this year.
Cheers.
I think that's the first deputation I remember actually having.
Mayor Bolton, can I just make a comment?
Yes.
I'd like to congratulate everybody who was involved in the Youth Council this year, particularly the students. As you've seen, they did a marvellous job, in particular with the MND fundraiser at the end of the year. But what you can see through that video is the amount of confidence they have, and they certainly didn't have it at the beginning of the year. It's been a very good, strong development process for the students, which is part of the whole process.
I would certainly, it was a different type of program this year, but I think that it was really well received, and I think COVID coming in the middle made it challenging, but we worked around and we still achieved, and they still achieved some of the things that they wanted to. So, as I said, looking forward to a great 2021.
Excellent. Thank you. Move on to 7.1 petitions, and there are none. 8.1 councillor questions without notice. Yes, councillor.
No.
Councillor Beswick.
No, me.
Councillor Diprose.
No, ma'am.
Councillor Viney.
No, ma'am.
Councillor Overton.
No, ma'am.
Councillor Fuller. No, thank you, Councillor Hisford. Councillor Carter.
No, thanks, Mayor.
Sure. 9.1 is public question time. There were no questions. No questions have been received. Public question time, and there were no questions on notice from the 16th of November last month either. So I move on to general management. 10.1, minutes and notes of committees of council and other organisations. There's quite a list there. Can I have somebody move that be received? It's Councillor Fuller and seconded Councillor Viney. Any queries on those minutes? Councillor Fuller.
Thank you, Mayor. Just in relation to the minutes of the Creative Coast Authority representatives meeting held on the 12th of November, just wondering, I noticed some discussion in there about the new regional tourism organisation, and obviously Mayor Collins is either appointed as the conduit for the reps to that. I noticed that in there was some conversation about perhaps having the actions of that organisation circulated to representatives. Just wondering if that's something that councillors were also able to receive. It's not something that was personally from me, perhaps others that work in the tourism space might be different, but I haven't heard a lot about the activities of the RTO since they separated from the authority.
Mayor Collins is, he represents the Cradle Coast Authority, but he doesn't go there representing us. I mean, he sits there on the committee and he was appointed. but also as was David Midson, the General Manager of the West Coast Council. So while they just give us a bit of an update on things that are happening through that, but I think we've got an update too, haven't we, with Tom?
Yeah, with Tom Woodman next week.
Very soon. Okay. We don't get, it was just a very brief sort of what had been happening, and basically it was about the new signage with the Northern Forage Drive. So there was a bit of an update about that, and that was really all that they reported on to my knowledge. But yes, I agree. I think another, a full update of how they're going, and that might be something that Tom can come along or give an update with our council.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. No other queries on those minutes? I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion's carried. 10.2 was the annual general meeting. This was conducted recently on the 30th of November. Can I have somebody move that the report on the conduct of that meeting be received? Thanks, Councillor Hiskett. Second, Councillor Diprose. I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 10.3 is Council on Development Support Special Committee meeting schedule for 2021. So this is the dates of those meetings. Can I have somebody move the suggested resolution? Councillor Barney, seconded Councillor Van Rooyen. Any queries on that schedule? I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 10.4 is correspondence addressed to Mayor and Councillors. It's a schedule there. Can I have somebody move that be received, please?
So moved.
Thanks, Councillor Beswick. Second, Councillor Hiskett. Any queries on that correspondence? Councillor Fuller.
Yeah, just in relation to the letter from Mr. Austin regarding Bannon Park, and there has been a response, but the response didn't answer the question about whether or not Bannon Park was an overnight camping spot. So I was just interested in
the letter. I'm sorry, I think the letter said that the signage had been, the main signage had been taken down, while the signage at the bottom was the small signage that there was no camping in those areas. That had been sort of rubbed out or rubbed off or worn out.
Yeah.
But there always has been a large sign there saying no camping on the spot. So I'm assuming that the sign is going to be replaced. That's what I took out of it.
thank you. I just wasn't sure what the author of the letter would take from the response, because it wasn't clear to me. So I was just concerned that it might not have been clear to others, but if it was, then that's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I have queries on that correspondence. I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 10.5 is the common seal. Got a schedule there. Can I have somebody move that be received, please?
So moved.
Thanks, Councillor Van Rooyen. Second, Councillor Carpenter. Any queries on those items? I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 10.6 is contracts and agreements. There's a schedule there. Can I have somebody move that be received, please? Thanks, Councillor Barney. Second, Councillor Overton. Any queries on those contracts and agreements? Put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Move on to community services. 10.7 statutory determinations. The schedule there. Can I have somebody move that be received?
So moved.
Thanks, Councillor Carpenter. Second, Councillor Hiskett. Any comments, queries on the determinations?
I'm not going to mention parking tonight, are you?
I
No,
was waiting.
I thought you were sitting there waiting for that. No, it shows it's extremely busy, doesn't it? Unbelievable, which is great.
Very much. Councillor Paul.
Just similarly, Mayor, an amazing amount of investment has come into Central Coast during this year, and staff are being to be congratulated for managing to keep on top of it, and I wish them a well-earned Christmas break.
So, thank you. No other speakers? I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 10.8 is an amendment to the declared smoke-free area within the Alveston CBD. This is to cover the area of Apex Park, which we intended to be covered when this was done, and this is just to bring this up to date. So could I have somebody move the suggested resolution?
So moved.
Thanks, Councillor Carpenter. Second, Councillor Van Ryn. Councillor Carpenter, would you like to speak to this?
Surprisingly, when people can stretch the rules a little bit, when you would think it would have been enclosed. But anyhow, it clears it up and allows our enforcement officers to do what they're allowed to do in the future. And like, not being a resident living here all the time, a councillor living here, but I've never ever heard a complaint about our smoke-free zone. No one's ever rang. So I think over the period when we first brought it in, and with a lot of work that went into the initial setup and all this, like it's been going probably 4 years ago it started, when we first, 3 to 4 years ago, when we first had a meeting with the anti-smoke.
2017.
3 years. So it does show that people will change and will adapt. It's just a shame, and I think down the track we've probably got to look at our other places now. So just endorse it now.
Any other speakers? Councillor Fuller.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to take that opportunity to congratulate the owners of Hensey's Bakery on the new additions that they've put in with the furniture and an effort that they go to make that space there very, very pleasurable, especially over summer. It's going to be lovely, and so many more people sitting out in that space and enjoying that little park. So it would be great if those who do choose to smoke were able to abstain from doing so in that area, so that it could be enjoyed by everybody. Support the motion.
Any other speakers?
Yes, Mayor. When I read this, I was a bit surprised. I guess it was just purely oversight that the area King Edward Street between Raby Street, Patrick Street, and Alexander Road between Raby Street and Main Roads were not initially included. I never thought about it. I just assumed that they were. Same with Apex Park. So I think it's good that they're now included, so everyone knows.
Yeah. Any other speakers? Councillor Carpenter?
No.
I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 10.9 is council acting as a planning authority. Can I have somebody move that the report be received? Councillor Heskett, second Councillor Dupos. Put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. 10.10 is items referred from the Development Support Special Committee. This item we need a mover and a seconder to do 10.10, or do I move straight on to 10.11?
Straight on to 10.11.
10.11, which is the residential dwelling and shed at 23 Bowman Drive. Can I have somebody move the suggested resolution?
So move, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Beswick.
No, second, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Van Ryn. Councillor Beswick, would you like to speak to this, please?
Yeah, only, Mayor, that following on from the DSSC meeting, that they just need a little bit of clarification for the height of the detached shed from the dwelling in the corner of the block. It was one of the representations from the neighbour of the size of the shed, and it didn't actually reflect in anything on the original documents as to perhaps the topography of the land. So that's been clarified. So I'm happy to support the application, but would also encourage if the shed could
at all be any lower. It'd be good if they could make it as low as they possibly could, because it is still reasonably high on the northern side. But I'm happy to support the motion as it is seen.
Any other speakers? Councillor Beswick, would you like to close?
I think it's all been said and everything.
All right, I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion's carried. Move on to 10.12, which is the draft amendment to the Central Coast Interim Planning Scheme. So this was the rezoning of land from general residential to local business at 10A, 10 and 1 Anna Street, Stoleston. Report there. Can I have somebody move the suggested resolution?
So
Councillor Van Raan, seconded Councillor Copeland. Councillor Van Raan, would you like to speak to this?
Well, Mayor, I think this was initially an oversight, and this is just correcting that oversight. They are commercial properties, and so need to be zoned accordingly. So I don't have any problems with it.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor Beswick.
yes, Mayor, these three properties are adjacent to some existing businesses. By changing the scheme, it's not going to take away the rights of those property owners to still use them as a residence as they currently are, but it does give the option in the future if those people see so fit to perhaps take on a business in those areas. So, yeah, I'm fully supportive of the change in zoning for that.
Any other speakers? We are seeing this back at the table again because of an oversight of the lack of something that needed to be done. So that's why it's come back to the council. Councillor Van Raan, did you want to close?
No.
I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion's carried. 10.13 is the naming of a new road within a private subdivision off Dial Road, Penrith. Can I have somebody move the suggested resolution, please? Thanks, Councillor Heskett. Second, please, Councillor Fuller. Councillor Heskett, would you like to speak to this?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. It is in following with the local area. I think the name that has been suggested is a good suggestion put forward. It is also good to see that there's many different options there for future street names within that area as well. There's a lot of good options to choose from. So, thank you.
Any other speakers?
Well, I mean, I'm not so sure that it is such a good choice. I mean, Invictus doesn't mean anything to me. I know that they have the Invictus games. Don't really know what the word means. I haven't looked it up. I would have very much been in favour of naming it after that young lady of Cure. There's not too many people in our municipality that reach the heights that she has in her chosen sport. So I'm not going to support the motion as it is.
Thank you. Councillor Fuller.
Thank you, Mayor. So the definition of Invictus is outlined there on page 92, and I quite like the fact that it means unconquered, because clearly that is an indication of what's going to happen with the Penguin Football Club for every season going forward from here on in. I do like the fact that it also reminds us of the games which have inherited those names, albeit in recent times, but that is an inspirational event. I don't think it hurts to be reminded of that, and it is in keeping with those other names: recreation, Commonwealth, Olympic, all of those sort of stuff, those places. And as Councillor Heskett has indicated, there are some other names still up our sleeve should we wish to when other things come along. But I'm happy with Invictus.
Are there any other speakers? Councillor Beswick.
Yes, Mayor, I'll be supporting the motion. I'm happy with the Invictus. I think it fits in with the other streets up in that area. I take on board what Councillor Van Ryan has mentioned as far as Amy Cool. She's been a champion for our municipality over quite a few years now and just recently retired. I'd like to keep that name in the back of our mind when there's perhaps something that might be a little bit more sport orientated, perhaps name. It would be, cycleway or something, you know, in the sport field. I don't think this detracts from that at all by naming this Invictus. I think this goes with the rest of the area. Thank you.
Any other speakers? I have to agree that I think the Invictus place is quite fitting for, you know, because it joins in with all of the different sporting functions up there at the Gyre. But Amy Cura, again, is very worthy of, you know, naming in our municipality, but I would like to see perhaps something, an opportunity, as you said, Councillor Beswick, of something in the cycling sphere. So I think there's other opportunities for that, but meanwhile, I think Invictus Place would be a great name. Yes, I'm happy to support it. Councillor Hiscock, did you move?
Yes.
Would you like to close?
Only to sort of small ones been mentioned by most other councillors and take note of what Councillor Van Drijven said. I think there's plenty of opportunities and we'll see for this one. Thank you.
I'll put the motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion is carried. Oh, sorry. Okay, one against. Jen Porter in Infrastructure Services, the schedule of infrastructure service determinations is there. Can I have somebody move that that be received, please? Thanks, Councillor Fuller. Second, Councillor Viney. Any queries on that schedule? I'll put the motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? The motion is carried. 10:15 is organisational services, and there are no matters to deal with there. And come to 11:1, which is the meeting closed to the public. Thank you all very much for tuning in.